the odds are never in favor of solving a cold case decades after a crime has occurred. Evidence can deteriorate, witnesses vanish, and sometimes the perpetrators themselves leave this world, taking their secrets with them. Yet some stories defy these odds. The case of Bonnie Haim, a young mother whose life was brutally stolen, stands as one of the most harrowing and ultimately triumphant stories in the annals of cold cases. Bonnie wasn't just missing. She had been murdered. Her 3-year-old son, Aaron Fraser, witnessed the crime firsthand. But when he tried to tell authorities, his words were dismissed. "Daddy hurt her," he said, a simple statement of terrifying truth, brushed aside as the fanciful ramblings of a toddler. It would take decades before Aaron's memories, once doubted, became the cornerstone of justice. Bonnie Haim's life was far from idyllic. She and her husband, Michael Haim, worked together at Michael's aunt's construction supply company in Jacksonville, Florida. Bonnie managed the accounting while Michael's aunt, Evan Haim, oversaw operations. To outsiders, this might have seemed like a simple family business. But Evan noticed a darker side to the marriage. Michael was controlling, sometimes violent, and Bonnie lived in constant fear of his temper. One incident, around Christmas 1992, stood out in Evan's memory. Michael slammed Bonnie's hand into a car door, leaving her injured and shaken. By this point, they had a 3-year-old son, Aaron, but parenthood did little to ease the volatility between them. Bonnie realized she couldn't remain in this toxic marriage. She needed to escape, to secure a life for herself and her child free from fear. Bonnie's escape plan was methodical. She quietly opened a separate bank account, saving money in secret. She began stashing away cash with friends for safekeeping, knowing that Michael would try to seize it if he discovered her plans. By early 1993, she had approximately $1,250 saved, enough to secure a small apartment for herself and Aaron. She set a date to leave, planning to do so while Michael was away at work. But Michael had other plans. January 7th, 1993, began like any other day. Except Bonnie never showed up for work. This was unusual. She had never missed work without notifying her employer. Alarm bells rang, and the authorities were contacted. Michael Haim told investigators that the night before, he and Bonnie had argued, after which she stormed out of the house. He claimed he called his mother to watch Aaron while he searched for Bonnie. From Michael's account, he returned home after a 45-minute search and went to bed. He did not, however, contact the police to report her missing. Instead, he called in sick to work the following morning. His apparent indifference heightened suspicions, though at the time, there was still no concrete evidence linking him to her disappearance. Then came Bonnie's purse, discovered in a dumpster behind a local motel, followed by her abandoned Toyota Camry in an airport parking lot. Investigators scrutinized the car. The driver's seat was adjusted far back, a position Bonnie could not have reached. Only someone of Michael's stature could have driven the vehicle comfortably. It was circumstantial, but it added weight to the growing suspicion that Michael was involved. Authorities turned to the one person who had been closest to the truth, 3-year-old Aaron. During interviews with Child Protective Services, he made the chilling statement, "Daddy hurt her." At first, no one took him seriously. His own family doubted him, noting other lies he told as a toddler, such as claiming his mother's car was in the lake. Aaron's words were dismissed as the imaginative musings of a young child. Despite this, Aaron never forgot what he had witnessed. The trauma fractured his relationship with his father and led to Aaron being placed in foster care. He was eventually adopted and given a new surname, Fraser. Even so, the memory of that day lingered in his mind, haunting him as he grew older. Years later, Aaron began to piece together the fragments of his memory. He drew pictures depicting his mother's murder and remembered critical details like his biological father throwing out a shotgun from the moving car, which later proved to be accurate. A search of the river revealed a shotgun matching the one described by Aaron. Despite this, Michael Haim remained free, and justice seemed frustratingly out of reach. In the early 2000s, Aaron and his adoptive family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Michael. They sought to establish the truth of Aaron's account and ensure that the boy was vindicated after being dismissed for so long. In 2005, Aaron won a $26.3 million settlement. The ruling required Michael to hand over the Haim family home to Aaron, a victory that symbolized the first tangible step toward justice. In late 2014, Aaron undertook renovations on the family home. He and his brother used heavy machinery to remove a swimming pool and outdoor structures, unaware that the house still held one final, horrific secret. He was puzzled. Why would someone bury a coconut, especially this deep, in a plastic bag? A closer inspection of the coconut revealed a full set of teeth and eye sockets. He was holding a human skull, not just any skull, but that of his mother. The disturbing find, no doubt, sent Aaron into a state of shock. However, alongside the shock perhaps came feelings of relief, knowing his mother was finally found and could be laid to rest. The discovery was devastating, yet it offered a form of closure. The truth could no longer be hidden. In the summer of 2015, Michael Haim was arrested and charged with Bonnie's murder, nearly 23 years after the crime. Forensic evidence, combined with Aaron's testimony and the discovery of Bonnie's remains on the property, made the case overwhelmingly strong. A .22 caliber shell casing found alongside the body matched one of Michael's rifles. Michael's defense was weak, arguing that Aaron's recollections as a toddler were unreliable. But the jury saw the weight of the evidence and the consistency of Aaron's story. Michael Haim was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. The trial opened up old wounds for Aaron. When asked about finding Bonnie's skull, he admitted it was his only memory of physically interacting with his mother. Aaron Frazier, despite winning justice, continues to cope with the trauma of witnessing his mother's murder and discovering her remains. He has openly discussed his struggles with PTSD, a lasting consequence of the horrors he endured as a child. The Bonnie Haim case underscores the challenges of solving cold cases, especially when key witnesses are dismissed or overlooked. It is also a story of perseverance, the unyielding determination of a son to reveal the truth about his mother's death. This tragic yet ultimately redemptive story serves as a reminder of the importance of believing survivors and witnesses, regardless of age. It also highlights the devastating effects of domestic violence and the lengths to which abusers will go to cover their crimes. If you found this story compelling, please like and subscribe for more in-depth true crime stories. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a chilling tale unraveling mysteries long thought unsolvable. Stay curious and stay safe.